Call stack is a mechanism for the interpreter to keep track of which function is running right now and which function needs to run next. JavaScript is a single-threaded programming language. That means it can do one thing at a time and has only one call stack at its disposal.
Cosstack uses the last in, first out principle to temporarily store and manage function calls. To understand last in, first out, let's say we bought the Harry Potter collection. Now we are going to store them in order. First, we are going to store part 7 as we are going to read it at last. Then part 6, part 5, part 4, part 3, part 2, and at the top, part 1. Each book occupies a chunk of the memory. This chunk of memory is called a stack frame. We can have several stack frame exist at a time, but only one stack frame can be active. Means you can read one book at a time. When we'll start reading, we'll first take part 1, which is the active stack frame from the stack. This frees up one stack frame. After finishing part 1, we'll take part 2, which clears up the second stack frame. Similarly, we then take part 3, part 4, part 5, part 6, and finally part 7. And now our call stack is empty. So this is the principle of the last in first out method.
In programming, the last function that gets pushed into the stack is the first to be popped out when the function returns. To better understand the call stack, let's look at an example. Let's open Google Chrome. Now press Ctrl Option J to open the inspection tool. In the inspection tool, select the Sources tab. In this tab, in the snippet module, now let's create a new snippet. In this snippet, let's write a simple code. This is a JavaScript code snippet. We are going to execute this code and run the debugger so that we can see how the interpreter handles multiple function calls using call stack. So let's put on a pointer on the greeting function and hit the command plus enter key to start the execution. As you can see, there is a brand new function called anonymous in the call stack list. This is our main function. So when we start executing this code, the main function gets called first and a stack frame is assigned to the main function so that the main gets added to the call stack list and do its work. Next, let's click on the step button. This action makes the main function call the greeting function, and the greeting function gets added to the call stack list with a stack frame. Now, this is our current active stack frame while the previous one is on hold. After that, let's hit the step button once again. This time, greeting function calls the say hello function and it's get added to the call stack list. And this get added to the call stack list with a new active stack frame. After pressing the step button one more time, the say hello function prints hello in the console. Again, pressing the step button, the say hello function returns and the stack frame is popped off from the call stack list. This execution order then moves below the stack and immediate frame, which is greeting function, gets activated. So let's press the step button again. This time, the content of the greeting function gets executed and it prints hello again in the console. Let's hit the step function once again. Now the greeting function returns and once again the stack frame is popped off from the call stack list. Now we just have the main function in our call stack, and after pressing the step button, the call stack becomes empty. So why call stack is so important? To understand this, let's go back to the inspection tool and modify our code a little. Now let's hit the command plus enter key to run this updated code. And we get an error in the console saying maximum call stack size exceeded. So our browser is responsible for executing JavaScript code and it has a limited amount of memory. In the current code, we are calling the say hello function from the greeting function. And from the say hello function, we are calling the greeting function. From the greeting function, we are again calling the say hello function and so on. So our infinite loop has been created. However, we don't have infinite memory. So when the maximum amount of stack frame is exceeded, the browser throws the maximum call stack size exceeded error. By now, I hope you have a good understanding of the call stack. Thank you so much for watching and see you in the next video.